Alright guys, well that escalated quickly. No sooner did people start to notice that Sweet Baby Inc. and Belair redesigned their website to remove their clients, to hide most of their projects that they've worked on, to now they have actually responded. Belair was at a festival, an event called XOXO. I believe it was down in Portland, which makes perfect sense. I mean, I'm only a few hours from there, so I totally understand the mentality of those people. And essentially played victim for all of this mess that they have caused with the, again, Cabrutus Rambo's Steam curator page being attacked by an employee of Sweet Baby Inc., the same employee going after Smash JT, trying to get his job. Again, these people are absolute insane lunatics, and the funniest part is that now that they're playing the victim, it's not really working out well for them, because you can see in this video here from the XOXO festival that just happened apparently a few days ago, it's only got 6.2 thousand views, disabled by owner as far as the likes and dislikes. You can like it, but you can't see any dislikes because those have been disabled. Comments are shut off. They don't want to hear from you. They don't want to see your criticism. They just want you to basically let them play victim, and they're just going to be all, proud of themselves. So check this out. I'm going to play a little clip of it, and then Packer Girl has got some a thread put together with a lot of the highlights of this speech, so you don't have to listen to too much of it.
It's time to stand up and be proud of our work. Wow. This is going to be really nice. And I remember even thinking that morning as we made these posts, I wonder if anyone's going to notice that, we posted about Spider-Man, we're also posting about Alan Wake. Will anyone put it together? Because I think our way of working at Sweet Baby, the kind of, teamwork that we do on so many different games, is really, really unique. I think it's really cool. I think people will be excited about it and about our craft. So I decided to do a cheeky Google and see, hey, can anyone put that together? The Google went bad. I shouldn't have done it because rather than any praise or people going, wow, how did you do it? Or just, hey, a narrative development company, what does that mean? I'm really interested. We were instead found by kind of 4chan and the worst people on Twitter.
I love the phrase, the worst people on Twitter. Again, employees of Sweet Baby Inc. and people who have worked with them and for them have been some of the most insane people I have ever interacted with on Twitter. But again, from her perspective, they are the victim, they did nothing wrong, and this is all just happening to them.
And looking back, there is a funny element to it where I go, people were kind of talking I've discovered a secret Canadian company, these are the guys who did it. And the discovery that they had made was actually our public-facing website that we advertise our services on, and which you can go to right now if you'd like to collaborate with us.
Again, this is her gaslighting. The secret, honestly, it goes back to, again, the Weird Ghosts website, the funding that they got from all the way back to, I believe his name was Alan Halavka, or Alec Halavka, the one who ended his life with all the other crap that happened in the past. Again, I did a video on that 7 months ago. It's quite the deep dive, the rabbit hole that it all goes back down. And the fact that she worked at Ubisoft in Canada, I think is where a lot of people put this connection together with the fact that she is a Canadian company and everything else. So, again, in this thread here from Packer Girl on Twitter, the quote from her says, "I'm the crazed CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., the DEI-obsessed censorship mafia who's currently ruining and wokeifying all the video games that you've ever played." Again, mocking people for being concerned about this. "If you haven't heard of Sweet Baby Inc., that's actually how I prefer it. But if you have, it's either because of the over 80 amazing and often award-winning games that we've worked on." Again, she's not even going to consider or talk about the games that have failed, the studios who have lost money and potentially been shut down because of some of their involvement. "So yeah, you've either heard of us from all these wonderful games, or perhaps you're familiar with the nearly year-long hate campaign that has been waged against us as a team." I love these ideas that there's a hate campaign. What this started off as, and I remember, guys, I said this a year ago. I was pointing out, Yellow Flash was pointing out, I listened to one of his videos, and I saw this company that he mentioned. And so I started noticing it too, and I'm pointing out some of my videos before this whole thing kicked off in February or March. And I'm like, yeah, there's this company, Sweet Baby Inc. They looks like they're involved in some of these games that have really crappy storylines, and there's just this weird messaging in it. There's all these agendas that are in there. And then people started connecting the dots. It wasn't until then that it kind of went to the forefront of everyone's conscious thought that, oh my God, this company is connected to some of the most insane agenda pushing in a lot of the video games industry. And then, of course, she had to make this remark here, which I find absolutely hilarious.
In moments when this movement couldn't dig up another reason to attack us, they would just kind of move on to other groups who they perceived to be like us.
Again, Black Girl Gamers is what she's referring to without saying it. And again, Black Girl Gamers tried to sue people to silence them.
all while doing the work of erasing all of those people's and our actual jobs and interest and papering over it with kind of that rallying cry of far-right supremacy.
Far-right supremacy. Hey guys, if you don't like DEI agenda pushes in your video game, whether or not you've voted Democrat your entire life, apparently you're far-right now.
DEI. And as ridiculous and stupid as it all was, I actually was not prepared for the escalation of it when noted buffoon and Twitter CEO Elon Musk decided that he would chime in with his very cool thoughts.
Now, I'm going to say something. I've been very critical of Elon Musk for several years now. I am a fan of the way Twitter has changed, and I'm very much not a fan of the fact that there's no customer service you can reach out to, and a lot of the monetization and stuff on Twitter has gotten out of hand with, again, engagement farming and whatnot. There's a lot of negative sides to this as well, and I also don't necessarily trust the man explicitly. However, the fact that Elon bought Twitter has allowed people to see a lot more of what's going on in their day-to-day lives and in the media than we would have seen previously. So people like Kim Belair calling him a noted buffoon is not surprising given the fact that, again, they were partially exposed due to Twitter exposure and people being able to discuss Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in Twitter. Now, what I find even more fascinating is this entire speech that she gave was at the XOXO 2024 conference. Apparently, they took a 5-year break, and I'm guessing, once again, due to the fact that it takes place in Portland, if I'm getting that correct, I think it's in Portland, it would make perfect sense that they stopped in 2019. Then we had the COVID years, and these people are always COVID crazy. They're always the same people who are like, oh, you gotta have a mask on, wear 3 masks, and take 12, stand 12 feet apart. So they took a 5-year hiatus. They came back this year, and this is absolutely brilliant. Before I get into some of the speakers here, let's read a little bit about XOXO. It ran from 2012 to 2024. It was an experimental festival celebrating independent artists and creators working on the internet. Each year, XOXO brought together writers, designers, filmmakers, musicians, game developers, coders, cartoonists, and more to share their stories and struggles of living and working online, okay? So our conference talks typically focused on the emotional experience of making things online with difficult subjects including financial insecurity, anxiety, depression, mental health, imposter syndrome, burnout, racism, sexism, and online harassment. Boy, all of these people, like Kim Belair, they must fit in perfectly here. The funniest part is it was launched in 2012 as a Kickstarter project, and just wait till you see the kind of people who they've had on their panels and the kind of people who support them. Past conference speakers include Cameron Esposito, Hari Kondabolu, Johnny Sun, Open Mike Eagle, some names I recognize like Natalie Wynn, Lindsay Ellis, but here you get to the best one, Anita Sarkeesian. Does this surprise anybody at all? Like not one single freaking bit. They've even had Lizzo there before, okay? XOXO Video, a showcase of independent video creators, including the creators of BoJack Horseman, Feminist Frequency. Oh boy, Feminist Frequency. So again, Anita Sarkeesian as a past speaker, the showcase of independent video creators, including Feminist Frequency. Guys, this is what these people are all about. All right, so if you go back to the About Us section on XOXO and you look at some of the people in the featured videos who have been speakers, one of them is Darius Kazemi, who apparently works on something called the Fediverse, and as I understand it, it's like a federally regulated multiverse of social network platforms. But the funniest part is that in the details for their project, it says the project is planned to kick off in January 2024. The plan is to identify medium to large size Fediverse servers. Then they have this edit, which is absolutely hilarious. Edited to add, for me, the breakpoint for medium is about 150 people. The point where it is unlikely for everyone to know everyone else and the need for governance becomes acute. Also, if we find that servers of 150 plus end up excluding important groups to talk to like non-white, non-US, non-English speaking people, of course we'll bend this. So for them, if the server is 150 people and that's the max, but there's not enough brown people or people who don't speak English, because again, those are more important than English-speaking white people, of course we'll expand it to include those other people. But if they had enough white people already, they wouldn't expand it for more white people. Again, just out in the open racism from these people. Then you have Aaron Kissen, who apparently is working to build better and safer networks for collective survival with efforts including the COVID tracking project. And it is exactly as you would imagine it. Federal COVID data, how we made the COVID tracking project, race and COVID, nursing home and long cares, term data, vaccination data, you name it. And I don't care if you've had the vaccine. I don't care what vaccines you've had. It's just that these people always tend to be hyper obsessed and focused on this, but it gets even better. The last person I want to point out who spoke here at XOXO, is Gita Jackson, who apparently, after witnessing the upheaval in digital media firsthand at Vice's Motherboard and Kotaku, internet culture journalist and critic Gita Jackson teamed with former Kotaku staffers last year to launch Aftermath, a new video games and culture publication that's entirely worker-owned and subscriber-funded. And if you don't recall, one of the co-founders of Aftermath is Nathan Grayson. Yes, that Nathan Grayson from Gamergate 1. So guys, these people all run in the same circles. It is no surprise that Kim Belair took her sob story to XOXO to try and play the victim after hiding their clients, hiding their information on their website. These people will always double down and play the victim, even if they are attacking people, harassing people, saying they want to burn the video game industry to the ground, as they have done. They are complete narcissistic, sociopathic liars. And again, I'm hoping, but within the next couple of years, most of these companies are gone and no longer even getting any work. Like, hopefully this will be a distant memory very soon here. But let me know what you think about this down below, and I will catch you on the next one.